Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather round for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the Great Salt Lake, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt and Katie will be your compass, your confidants, your companions of that, as we explore the wonders of travel. So kick back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust wash over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt and Katie by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt and Katie on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shout for your guides through the highways and byways of travel, the planning partners, the travel tandem, Matt and Katie.
Hi, Yinz doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me again today is Karen, who talked to us before about Disney transportation. So it's good to have you back again, Karen.
Thanks, Matt. Glad to be here.
So we normally start the episodes with asking your favorite place you've ever been or a place you'd like to visit the most. Would you like to contribute to that, or do you want to stick with your answer from the last time?
One place that I really have not been to is out west, like towards the Grand Canyon type area, to see the more mountainous areas. I'm from the East Coast, and we've always done East Coast things growing up. We would go on vacations. We've been as far west as, like, I had an aunt that lived in Texas, so we would go down that way and different areas that way, but never really been out to like Arizona and Montana and those areas that are just different in landscape, the mountains and stuff that are a little bit more out there, desert, warm.
Yeah. As we're recording this, my dad is finishing up a fishing trip that they went to Utah and up to Idaho, and him and his one buddy. So they went to Alaska a couple years ago. So they're big outdoorsmen into fishing. So that's their thing. They're having a fabulous time, and the scenery out there. He sent so many pictures. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. My husband and I do a lot of walking, and we have areas that we walk here in Ohio, but I think getting out there and walking different areas, the terrain would be a whole lot different, but I think it would be fun.
Yeah, the national parks out there are so pretty. I forget where we were going the one time. It might have been going out to Yosemite, and while we were flying into San Francisco, but we flew over the Grand Canyon. I forget where we connected through to get that route. But that was pretty amazing. My dad and I want to go there. That's kind of on our list of things to do the next couple years. And my dad and I have talked about Yosemite National Park on this podcast, which is the most majestic place I've ever seen. And great hiking there too. And they have some moderate to easy hikes there too, as well as some that are very strenuous. And we recently did a podcast on Yellowstone, which has some other really nice places to walk around.
Yeah.
But you mentioned about the terrain. I remember whenever we went out to Yosemite, it was the trip whenever we flew over the Grand Canyon. Coming back, we went over the Rocky Mountains more directly, and my mom still talks about it. And this is like early '90s. That it's like, being out here and growing up in Pittsburgh, we have what we call mountains, but they're really more rolling hill type things. And then you fly over the Rockies, and it's like, yep, those are mountains. Flying over it in June and July, and there's still snow.
Well, I sometimes feel like that here in Ohio too. We've had snow in June.
Having gone to school and lived, over the summer up in Erie, Pennsylvania for college, yeah, we once had the summer without summer. They don't think it got above like 72 degrees the whole summer. So yeah. I feel
Yeah.
you on that. But today, Karen and I are going to talk about Disney Springs, which is the shopping, dining, entertainment district in Walt Disney World Resort. So, a little bit of background on it is that in 1975, it started as the Lake Buena Vista Shopping Village. And just for technical issues, that and to be fully correct, Walt Disney World is not in Orlando. It's close to Orlando. You fly into Orlando, but it's officially in Lake Buena Vista. And Lake Buena Vista is also that lake that separates Disney Springs from Old Key West and Saratoga Springs. So that body of water that sits right up against Disney Springs, that is officially called Lake Buena Vista. But it's also the incorporated town, or I guess city, whatever you want to call it, that encompasses Walt Disney World. The Lake Buena Vista Shopping Village opened on March 22nd, 1975. It's currently in the place that the marketplace area of Disney Springs is. So this is the easternmost area near where the Disney Springs hotels are that have that walkway that goes over the road. And then over the years, it's changed a bit. That 1977, it changed to the Walt Disney World Village. Then 1989, it was the Disney Village Marketplace. And that's when Pleasure Island opened. Shortly before it changed to the Disney Village Marketplace, it is when Pleasure Island opened. It opened on May 1st, 1989, the same day as Disney MGM Studios. Takes you back, right? Which is now Disney Hollywood
Yeah.
Studios. Pleasure Island was designed to keep guests on Disney property, and it was mainly a response to the Church Street Station clubs in downtown Orlando. So adults who were coming down to Walt Disney World in the evenings, if they weren't going to the parks, they're going up to Orlando and they're going to party in the clubs. So Disney says, okay, let's try to keep people on property. Pleasure Island closed on September 27th, 2008. Now, that was right before, a couple months before my first adult visit. So, growing up, I knew about Pleasure Island, and whenever we were planning our trips as kids, and I always wanted it to be to be more for kids, like in Pinocchio, where they have their Pleasure Island, just without the turning into donkey part. So, um, and I always pictured it kind of like that, just completely ruckus and whatever, but just for adults. So, the name made sense to me. And of course, I was too young to go at those times. And we talked about Pleasure Island a bit when Amanda was on here on our episode about the SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, that supposedly was owned by Meriwether Adam Pleasure, and the Adventurers Club was one of the actual clubs that was there. So Disney does such a great job of tying things in with all the stories. I don't think we ever went to Disney Springs when I was a kid. We were always, doing other stuff, or we would always, have our in the parks or doing our pool break at our hotel. So we never really ventured over there. Not that I can remember, at least. Pleasure Island is now where what's called the Landing in uh, Disney Springs. And the first World of Disney store opened on October 2nd, 1986 in the marketplace, or 1996 in the marketplace, which that store is so amazing. It is so huge. It's like any and everything that you could ever want Disney wise. Now we go to Disney Springs all the time. That's our arrival day thing. And then, sometimes we'll go over in an evening, or, like on our Animal Kingdom Day, if they're closing a little bit earlier. Or since we go like around December, January, if we're going to a park and it's one of the ones that's closed, like Magic Kingdom, if it closes early for the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, then we'll go to Disney Springs for dinner or just to walk around or kill some time. But it's so much fun there.
We do the same thing. We tend to spend a whole day there, and you can spend a whole day there, and just all the different shops and all the things. And we'll be talking about them all here.
Yeah.
But it's just there's just so much to just walk around and look at, and walk more and more, just because you have you haven't walked enough being at Disney. You're just prepping your feet for your days in the parks.
It's your warm up, right?
Yes.
And the nice thing about Disney Springs is there's no admission charge and it's free parking. So if you're not going to buy anything or, it's a very inexpensive way to spend a day in theory.
Yes.
But once you walk around the stores, it's like, oh, I need one of those. I need one. It's not just I want one of those. I need some of that stuff. And then the places to eat some of them are so fabulous. It's like, oh, I want to try that place. Oh, and that place. Oh, that. Hey, look at this guy walking with this huge cookie. Where'd he get that? Let's go find that place. And yeah. Now to finish off the history of this, 1997 it changed its name to Downtown Disney, and then 2015 changed it to Disney Springs. And I imagine to kind of differentiate itself from the Downtown Disney district that's out in Disneyland Resort in California. And now in Disney World, there is another shopping center. It's Flamingo Crossings Town Center. It's on the western side of Walt Disney World. And this is close to where the Disney College Program residence is. And we talked about that whenever we had Carlos and Anel on to talk about the Disney College Program. Now, some of the layout and size that Disney Springs is 120 acres. And so the Downtown Disney District in Disneyland Resort is only 15 acres. So that really says something. It's almost 10 times bigger than, as big as the one out in California. And depending on how you walk from end to end, the shortest path is about 0.7 miles. The longest path is about 0.85 miles. So even just walking from one end to the other and back, you're getting a mile and a half in. So you can get your steps in. There are 4 areas now. There's the west side, and then going west to east. Then there's Town Center, the Landing, and then the Marketplace. There are 93 places to shop, 70 places to eat, and 26 entertainment areas. It's usually open from about 10 in the morning until 11 o'clock-ish at night. Some places will stay open a little bit later, some close a little bit earlier. And you do have to go through security whenever you get in, so be prepared for that. Although whenever we've gone, we really haven't had too much of an issue. That it's been pretty much a walkthrough. There hasn't really been a line for security at Disney Springs. Every once in a while, there's a little bit.
Sometimes sometimes I feel like it's earlier in the day they're less things seem to move a little bit smoother, and in the evenings, later in the day, in the evenings, they're stopping and checking people a little bit more thoroughly, I guess, is a way to put it. But
Yeah,
they seem to be getting busier in the evening too,
Yeah, so there's more people, so they want to do a more thorough check just because there's more people and then more people in line. So yeah, it can back up a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Now with the parking and transportation, like I said before, parking is free. There are some surface lots near the west side, and then there are 3 parking garages. There's the Lime, which is near Town Center, the Orange, which is near the west side, and then the Grapefruit one, it's across the street, and there's like a pedestrian bridge you can use, but that's usually reserved for cast members. They'll only open that up to guests whenever it's like the busiest days. Depending on where you're staying, the Sassagoula River Cruise, if I can enunciate, this will take you from Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, and then Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter. So this neat little boat goes on little waterways. If you're staying in any of those hotels, it can so you don't have to drive or take a bus or anything. And we usually stay in the Old Key West or Saratoga Springs, so that makes it very convenient.
Originally, when our kids were young, we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside because we could get 5 people in those rooms. And we got used to taking the boat over to Downtown Disney at the time. And so we will, even now, my husband and I, when we go by ourselves, we'll get a bus over to either to one of the Port Orleans resorts and then just kind of walk through and look at their gift shops and sometimes stop and get something to snack on, and then go to the boats and ride the boat to um, downtown Disney, so that, or Disney Springs. I got to correct myself there. Um, in order, and it's just a nice, relaxing kind of boat ride. Um, Especially if it's warm, the breeze feels good, so it's a fun way to get there.
And also, it works the other way too. That if you are, if you have a rest day that you're not going to one of the parks, or you want something to do, or you're doing resort hopping, whatever, is take the bus or go to Disney Springs in some way, shape, or form, and then take the Sassagoula River Cruise to the other resorts and walk around there. Or if you want to get a different dining reservation, or just try a different place to eat, or just enjoy the atmosphere, because Port Orleans, I mean, the it's so pretty there.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
and if you want to get some steps in, Saratoga Springs is a huge resort. It can be like a mile from to the farthest reaches of it. And there's also a walking path you can take too. They'll take you to the Saratoga Springs area,
Hmm.
and then you could technically walk over to Old Key West, but you walk kind of along a road with no sidewalk, so be careful with that.
Yeah.
And that's also by the Lake Buena Vista Golf Club. So if you want to go golfing.
Mhm.
Now, there's also a pedestrian bridge that will go over the road, as I mentioned before, to the Disney Springs hotels. And then buses from the Disney hotels will all go to Disney Springs. Be careful, though, that there is no bus service between Disney Springs and the parks. So if you are at a park and you want to go to Disney Springs, you have to take a bus to or other transportation, if it's Skyliner, monorail, whatever, Friendship, to one of the hotels, then take the bus to Disney Springs. Although I have before walked from the boardwalk to Disney Springs. I don't recommend that. There's not really sidewalks, and be careful of wildlife. So, although for the amount of time it took, it was about the same. Actually, might even be a little bit
You just
quicker.
have to watch for the alligators.
Exactly. I made sure I had my head on a swivel for that one. So we're
Yes.
gonna start on the west side. We're gonna go through every single shop and food place. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna highlight some of the favorites and some of the bigger ones that stand out for me and Karen as well. So Cirque du Soleil, the current show that they have, the Drawn to Life, which is a tribute to Disney animation, and the Imagineers and the Cirque du Soleil people, they went all out on this of tying in the projections of the movies and the theme of that with the acrobats in Cirque du Soleil, and how that goes together and tells a story. Oh, it's fabulous. It's really, really, really amazing how they did all that. Of course, as a tribute to Disney entertainment in general.
Yeah.
And something pretty neat that there was a young lady. This is several years ago. I'm not sure if she still does it or not, but she was a gymnast at West Virginia University, and I had her for one of my classes. Very good student too. Good gymnast, great student, lovely young girl. She actually got a job working with Cirque du Soleil, and so she was one of their performers. I'm not sure if she still does it or not, though.
Yeah. That would
Now, very
be an awesome opportunity.
oh yeah, now
I
very
can't
close.
dance,
Oh, go
so
ahead.
it wouldn't be me.
No, I'm not. Can't dance. I can't sing, so I'm not gonna. I'm lucky if I don't trip over my own 2 feet in a given day. So
Right. Right.
very near the Cirque du Soleil, and it's hard to miss with its little water tower there, is the House of Blues. And what's unique about this is the Sunday gospel brunch. So if you want some good food and some good gospel music, Sunday morning is where you want to be there. Next up is something for the it's your rainy day thing, is the AMC Disney Springs 24 dine-in theaters. So there's a mouthful, right? And so there
Right.
are some of these theaters that they can actually have food delivered to your seats. So it's no longer just popcorn. You can get like full meals delivered to you and enjoy a dinner and a movie simultaneously.
Yeah. That's we don't usually spend time doing movies while we're there at those kind of movies anyway. Just because there's so much else to do.
Yeah,
But to have dinner with your movie, that's always a good thing.
yeah. If you're gonna have, you're gonna have dinner anyway, and if you figure you're getting into the have your reservation, you're gonna go wait a little bit, you're gonna sit down, then you're look at the menu, you're gonna order your food. The whole process is gonna take an hour, hour and a half, maybe. So 2 hour movie, you're not really losing that much time, and you get a movie out of the deal.
Right.
And also, again, if it's the rainy day thing and it's your day of arrival, you're not going to a park or whatever, it's a nice thing you can do to stay inside and be dry.
Yeah.
Now, another neat thing to do while you're staying inside and being dry, they have Splitsville, so you can go bowling. So we've never actually gone bowling in Splitsville, but we have gotten food there. And so um, I think my wife got the sushi there too. It was pretty good. They have a couple of different food places in there that even if you're not bowling, you can come in and you can order a meal.
Mm.
So yeah, we and they have some nice little areas to sit, little bar area in the one spot. And if you don't mind the little bit of noise of bowling balls and pins getting knocked over, it's a nice little atmosphere. I mean, you're a little bit far,
Yeah.
removed from it, so it's not like the bowling balls are right in your ear or anything, but it's kind of adjacent to it, so you're going to hear that. But it's a fun area to be in. It's lively.
Yeah. It's kind of even the whole Disney Springs area is an area that if you are not going for one reason or another, not going to the Disney parks and you're staying outside in the vicinity, you can just go and have have fun doing other things than and probably a little bit cheaper than if you were going to the park. So if you needed your Disney fix, you could go to Disney Springs and then do some other fun things while you're there too.
Oh, absolutely. Next one up is probably my little girl's favorite place, the M&M store, that they have
Mm.
some larger than life statues of the M&Ms. I think the peanut M&M that's yellow and maybe the red regular one. There might have been a blue one in front too. I can't remember. We got our picture with a couple of them standing out front,
Yeah.
but this is several stories tall too. It's tall. It's a big building that you can go up and. She kept trying to convince us, can I get this one and this one and this one? And so between the M&M stuffed animals and the actual M&M bags, she was like trying to fill a cart with that stuff to take home. It's like, okay, this is our first day here. Just relax, okay? We just got here. And no, you don't need more sugar.
Yes, but um, Disney M&Ms are better than regular
Well, I think everything in Disney is better too. So yeah.
M&Ms.
Plus you're on vacation, so those calories don't count.
That's right.
Now, speaking of other
We
places
always
where,
have to pick up some M&Ms to bring home.
oh, of course. And now they have so many different flavors and different design, different varieties of them. It's like, where were
Different
these when I was a
colors
kid?
and yeah. Yeah, when we were young, they had what, the 4 or 5 different colors, and for a while they took the red ones out because for whatever reason, but yeah, they just had the basic colors, and now they have every color imaginable.
And like, and then the different varieties of the peanut ones and the pretzel ones and the caramel ones that, like when I was in high school, I'd take just a bag of regular M&Ms and M's and I could just, I didn't care about the colors because I could just dump that whole thing in my mouth at once. Like, where were all the varieties when I could actually enjoy that stuff more? Now that you're
Right.
old,
Well,
candy's still good. It just doesn't taste as good because, well, because you're older and you can't always eat a whole bag of M&Ms all at once without some side effects.
right.
Now, another place that is a favorite of my little girls is the Disney's Candy Cauldron. And the really wonderful thing about this is you can actually see them preparing the some of the candy in their kitchen that they have. It's a big glass window you can look through, and I know my little girl had her nose pressed against that thing. Whoever cleans those windows, I'm sorry, okay? But seeing them dip the strawberries in the chocolate, or dipping the marshmallows in the chocolate, and then and some of the apples in chocolate, and then putting them together to have like the Mickey and Minnie shaped candy apples, or dipping it into the candy apple stuff. And it's really neat process to actually see how it's made. And it lets kids learn of, oh, look, this is, here's how you prepare all of these wonderful and delicious confections that you're going to buy in the store.
Those apples are wonderful, and they're healthy
And the other thing,
because
yes,
they're apples. Just because they're covered in chocolate and caramel and marshmallows and everything else, they're still yummy and healthy.
and chocolate's dairy. So that's one of the major food groups. So you're getting it in.
Yeah,
But the
that's
apples,
right.
even though the apples are healthy, they do a great job of. There was one that we saw that looked like the apple from Snow White, like the poison apple that had,
Oh
like
yeah,
the goo on it, or I think it was chocolate that was dipped in. Partly that had it coming down, and it looked like it was straight out of the movie. That it looked so awesome. It's like, I'll
they
take one
do
of
a
those,
really,
please.
yeah, they do a really good job with them.
Now, one of my favorite stores is Disney, the Star Wars Galactic Outpost. But I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, so but very close
Yes,
to
my
there.
husband is too.
See, this is why Karen has wonderful taste in men too.
That's right.
Next, the superhero headquarters, which is the Marvel store, which I'm not as big of a Marvel fan as I am Star Wars, but I still appreciate it. And my brother-in-law and nephews are huge into it, so this is the place to go to get their gift whenever we're uh, down there shopping for everybody.
Yeah,
No, on the other side, bordering on Lake Buena Vista, is Aerophile, which used to be Characters in Flight, and gone through a couple name changes, but it's still there. It is a tethered balloon that'll take you 400 feet up in the air. The little gondola thing will hold up to 29 people. It costs about $25 to $30 a person. They do close if there's bad weather. So if it's too windy, or if there's lightning within like a 30-mile radius or something, which if you're there in the summer, you're likely going to get one of those. So it's hit or miss. We've had, I know that I tried to do that so many times, and every time I went by, it was closed for one of the weather reasons. But we finally got to do it, and I've done it 3 times now at different times of day. The once was like around noon, midday type thing. Another one was right around sunset. Another one when it was already dark out. So it's a unique experience for no matter when you go. And the views from up there are amazing. Just don't look straight down.
how long does that take for the whole ride, Matt? Because I've not done that, but it does fascinate me there.
I want to say it's about 15 minutes in the air.
Okay, so you get lots of time to see the different sites and the different areas. Um,
Yeah, and oh no, they say about 8 minutes. So, but by the time you check in, they take your picture on the ground that you can purchase later on in front of the balloon. Then you load in, and it's like a circular gondola thing, so you can walk around all different sides. And then there's fencing on it too, so it's very safe. And then they'll take you up. So about 8 minutes, 8, 10 minutes. It seems longer up there. It's so neat that you can see all the way over to Magic Kingdom and uh, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot. Pointing out the different water parks and different hotels, even seeing all the way up towards Orlando with some of the other attractions up there. I know there's a real big Ferris wheel that's near there. And no matter what time of day you're going up, during the day you can see things more clearly, but at night everything's all lit up. So, you can see
yeah.
other things will stand out because they're lit up. So I recommend going up, trying it at different times of day. And the sunset one was so gorgeous.
Yeah, I bet.
And actually, I think that might have been around May that we went. It was shortly after my wife and I got married. We took a short trip down for just a couple of days. We had some extra. We got a deal on um, tickets whenever we went in December. Whenever I proposed to her, that it was buy 5 days gets 2 days free, and there was no expiration on the extra 2 days. So we were only there for 5 days in December, and then we came back later in May, and we did that trip specifically because we had the extra 2 days of tickets. We wanted to use those up, and we did the parasailing over on Bay Lake, which they don't offer anymore. And then I think we did the balloon ride as well that time. So it was a nice romantic trip down.
Yeah.
Now moving over to the landing, and you're kind of go up a hill or up up like over a little bridge thing. And this is
Mhm.
there's a lot of good restaurants here. Maria and Enzo's Restaurante. They have fresh made pasta. It's a little bit expensive and the portions are a little bit small, but oh my God, you know it is fresh made pasta. I mean, this is like gourmet food. It is very, very good. Right next to that, or well, across the street from it, if you want to think of it, across the walkway, is Enzo's Hideaway. And it's kind of hidden that you have to kind of go down and underneath. So they're not wrong with the name. There's also the STK Steakhouse, which is kind of famous. I've seen those in
Yeah.
different cities. And then Morimoto Asia, which we try to get to each time, and you need reservations. And we're always like, well, we're not quite sure. And my wife wants to wing it and try and just see if there's an opening, which there's never is. But we usually settle on the Morimoto Asia street food, which is nice if
Yeah.
you can't get a reservation. It's a little quick service place right outside of Morimoto Asia. And so we go there at least once, sometimes twice or three times.
And we've been to Morimoto Asia, and usually it's a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon is where we try to hit that. And we've been there a couple of times, and the food is really good. And the the restaurant itself is just gorgeous on the inside with the chandeliers and the lights and the open kitchen that you can see them making food. It's a very fascinating dining experience.
We talked about before with the movie theaters of getting dinner and a movie. This is dinner and a show whenever they have those open kitchens. There's a couple other places around Walt Disney World that have that too, like the Flying Fish over on
Yeah.
the boardwalk. And just being able to see them prepare it, and whether even though it's not your food or if it is your food, whatever, just being have that kinetic energy in the kitchen to be able to see all that, it really brings a certain uh, atmosphere to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Very close to that is Gideon's Bakehouse, which has long lines, so expect to wait for a while. But they have huge cookies, and every time we go, my wife's like, "We got to try that," and then we see this line, and she's like, "No, I don't want to wait." So one of these times we'll get there
We're
right when it
we are
opens.
kind Yeah, we're kind of the same way, but you can get so many desserts in so many areas, and sometimes when you think about it, it's like, I think I've had enough sweets for today. Maybe we'll try next time, you know?
Yeah, I think that's why we have to
So,
go. So that's why we have to go earlier in the day before we've had too many sweets, and hopefully before the lines get too long.
yes.
There's Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar, which Jock Lindsay was Indiana Jones's pilot in the beginning part of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So the guy who had his pet snake Reggie. So don't worry, you don't see Reggie in the restaurant. But just tying in these names, I think is just really clever.
Yeah.
There's the Raglan Road Irish Pub and Restaurant that they have live Irish music they'll play. And then right next to it's Cooks of Dublin. So you get, you're you're getting some international cuisine. You don't have to go to Epcot to get that. You can go to Disney Springs.
Yeah, and
And
it's
then
very
probably
good. Uh, for Raglan Road, we went like when they first opened in the afternoon, and the entertainment, the music wasn't going yet. So we've talked we need to go back a little bit later to where we to get our live show while we're eating our dinner. But still, the food was really good.
yeah, someone who's oh, let's see, I'm at least a third Irish. So it depends on the DNA test wasn't completely clear because it's like you're this much Irish and then this much sort of Great British. So it's like English, Irish, Scottish, all make shared traits. So I assume I'm somewhere around 40% Irish or somewhere around of that nature. So this speaks to me.
Yeah.
Now, some of this probably the most famous things in Disney Springs, or at least they stand out the most, are the vintage amphicar tours. And so these are little cars that actually can drive into the water and act as a boat. And then they come up and they drive on dry land and it's like a car. So these will hold 3 to 4 people. You get 20 minutes in the amphicar and it costs about $125. But if you have 4 people in there, $30 to go in these cool cars for 20 minutes per person, that's not really that bad.
No, it's a different kind of activity. Rather give your legs a break, and go sit on the water for a little while, and it's kind of fun.
They always make me nervous though because they sit really low in the water. So it seems like there's
They
only
do.
like there's less than a foot between the top of the car and the water line. Whenever they was like they're driving around like, oh my
So
God.
no rocking the boat.
Oh, something I found out about recently is they have an umbrella or two maybe in the actual car. So if it starts to rain or if you just want some shade from the sun, you have an umbrella you can carry. So your
Yeah,
parasol. Now talk about being fancy. You're driving around in this like 1950s convertible amphicar with your parasol up in the air. I mean, that's like the life of luxury, right?
yeah, yep.
Moving over next to Town Center. This is where Planet Hollywood is. And so this kind of sits back a bit, kind of parallels the landing. So the landing's kind of up on top, and then the town center is kind of back a bit. Planet Hollywood. So if you want to go see your awesome memorabilia from different movies, we've eaten there before. And then you might not see a famous movie star, but a famous chef, Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill is there. Another one of my daughter's favorite places is the Coca-Cola store that has a rooftop beverage bar as well. So if you want to go up there, and the views up there at night, you can, or at least, or even during the day, just the views from up there. It's a decently tall building, several stories tall, and you can see out pretty far. The Karen and I were talking before about where we grow up, where we live now, and kind of the rolling hills. It always strikes me whenever I go to Florida of how flat it is. And if you go up a little bit, you can
Mm,
see for miles and miles and miles, and that just does not happen um, in our neck of the woods.
yeah. Um, but I can't imagine, if you can imagine 3 stories of Coca-Cola products, and everything from clothing to um, kitchen
Yeah,
items of all sorts, and then of course the top where you actually get the Coke products, the drinks of all different kinds. Um, there's a lot of stuff to look at in the Coca-Cola store,
oh yeah, and
along with the bear.
oh yes, of course. And the ramp going up the building too on the outside is pretty interesting. That if you're going to walk up from level to level and not take the elevator, that there's a ramp that loops around. So just be careful going down that if you have a stroller.
Yeah. Pick up speed.
Yeah, well, my little girl was sitting in the stroller one time, and she's very antsy to begin with, and so she was kind of leaning out and not sitting back, and uh, she knows how to unclip her the little safety thing, and so I had to make a quick stop, and she went flying. I was like, "Oh my God!" Going
Oops.
down that hill or going down the ramp. It's like, my goodness. She was okay. It's all right. She was fine, but still,
They're low to the ground and they roll, so it's good. It's all good.
she's flexible. It's all right. Now, back in the town center, it's mostly shopping. There are some very upscale stores there, though. If you're going in, that you can easily spend a lot of money. Although my
Mm,
wife likes to go and just do shopping. Although at the Coca-Cola store, she found a pair of pants. They're like sweatpants, legging, jogger, whatever type things. They just had Coca-Cola very simply on like the one leg, and she's like, "These are the most comfortable pants ever." So we go back. It's like, "Do you want another pair?" It's like, "No, these ones are still good." It's like, "All right." Now the town center area also has a nice little covered walkway, and especially during the the winter and like around December, is that they have a lot of their Christmas trees here, and also this is where you can get the quote unquote snow in Disney, or well, the quote
yes.
unquote now Snope as it's dubbed. It's little bubbles,
Yeah.
so just be careful about looking up at the snow because if it comes down, that is real soap, and there's no Disney magic that will make it not sting when it gets in your eyes.
Mhm. I was just thinking, do they do that on purpose? So when they in the nighttime when they go through and clean off the sidewalks and hose everything down, they're actually using soap to clean them.
I don't know if that's the initial their initial thought process in it, but it's like one of those happy side effects that, oh, by the
Yeah.
way, it's going to make things easier to clean. Again, Imagineers with their brilliance.
That's right.
Now, moving on to the marketplace, is now there's a bridge that cuts across Lake Buena Vista, and it connects the ends of the marketplace. So you can take a shortcut. It goes from the BB Wolf's Sausage Company. Don't worry, warning, this is not kosher or halal, so there's a lot of pork there. It cuts over to the Rainforest Cafe area. So it doesn't really save a whole lot of time. It kind of cuts off the little bend. But as my wife always says, triangle inequality, the shortest distance between two spots is a straight line. So if she can save some steps, she will save steps. Another really neat place to eat there is T-Rex. So look for the big dinosaur skeletons out front. And we took our niece and nephew there the one time that we took them when they were younger, and they thought it was pretty neat that there's the meteor shower during dinner. That it kind of the lights dim, and there's I don't know if it's like fiber optics or whatever lights will light up like in the ceiling and the walls, and it's like reds and blues and greens and stuff. So it's pretty neat. And then all the dinosaur um, statues and toys and everything in the gift shop and out front when you're walking in. It's like walking through a jungle almost. That my nephews were, let's see, around 5 and 7 whenever we went. And so they were right in that big dinosaur craze age. So they loved it in there. They didn't want to leave.
And instead of Build-A-Bear, it's Build a T-Rex. I don't remember the name of it, but it's the same. And actually, they are related to Build-A-Bear, but they're all dinosaur type stuffed animals that you build um, to go along with the theme of the T-Rex.
Yeah, we had to talk my little girl out of that the last time we were down there because she loves anything that's soft and cuddly and loves animals too, and even dinosaurs. That she's like, "Can I get one of these? This is so cute." But very rarely do you
Yeah.
relate T Rex with cute. Now, if you have your sweet tooth or you need something, your energy in the morning with some awesome pastries, or in the middle of the day or late evening or whatever. Emirates Patisserie, Patisserie. So they have some wonderful, wonderful pastries and baked goods there. And they get creative too. It's not just this tastes good. It's like a work of art with some of their stuff. That it's getting your pictures for Instagram of your food. These stand out. And then another place to get your chocolate, Ghirardelli's Soda Fountain and Chocolate Shop. And here's your travel tip too, Karen. Whenever you travel out west, if you do go to San Francisco, the original Ghirardelli Square, that I've been there in San Francisco. It's um great place to get some good chocolate.
I'm tempted.
A nice place for snacks is Wetzel's Pretzels. They have that in that area too. And we mentioned the Rainforest Cafe. We ate not at this one. We ate at the one near Animal Kingdom last time. There was, we were at Animal Kingdom that day and we wanted some lunch. And it's like, well, where should we go? And we decided on the Rainforest Cafe. My little girl had a fabulous time, even though we were waiting for our reservation time to come up. Did just playing around in there in the little gift shop and talking to everyone who came in, and there were a couple of little families and they were playing like hide and seek around some of the little trees that fake trees they have in there and whatever else. So she had a good time.
Yeah, our first trip as a family, we my daughter she was about 5 and a half, and it had been a long day, and she fell asleep on the way while we were waiting for our reservation, and slept through all of the activities going on throughout the Rainforest Cafe. We had to get her dinner to go because she slept through it. She was exhausted.
That's when you know it's been a good trip.
Yes.
Other places are the Earl of Sandwich, which there's some great history there with the actual Earl of Sandwich and creation of sandwiches. Possibly my favorite place in Disney Springs. It's tough between the Star Wars store and the Lego shop. Just the Lego displays that are out front, those are amazing.
Yes, they are.
And there are some that have been there. They will rotate them and put in some new ones every once in a while, but some of them have been there for years, like the Sea Serpent that's out in
Yeah.
Lake Buena Vista. Um, Sorcerer Mickey from Fantasia. There's the Buzz and Woody with RC and the rocket going off. There's a Star Wars one that has Rey, Chewie, Captain Phasma, Kylo Ren, one of the Sith troopers. The really, really big one of Prince Eric, or no, it's Prince Philip and Maleficent as a dragon that's on the one side.
Yeah.
Then my little girl's favorite are Anna and Elsa and Olaf. And then even on the inside, there's some other big Lego works of art too. Although now there is usually a bit of a line to get in. So depending on how long the line is, we might wait and go inside and look at all the different displays they have and the different Lego sets. Although it's dangerous for me because it's like I want one of those and I want one of those and I have one of those, but I'll take another. We mentioned it before, but the World of Disney, which I mean, I could spend several hours just walking through there and looking at things. And that's
You
the really
sometimes
neat thing.
get lost.
Oh yeah, sometimes like little turns here and a little corner here, a little nook here. Yeah, and it's very
Wait, I don't think I saw that spot.
yeah. The other thing is keeping track of everybody who's in your party because my little girl's like, oh, look at that, and she's running off to look at dresses, and weaves around two different displays. Like, all right, where did she just go?
Yeah,
So yeah, be careful with your
you get
kids.
lost.
Although the really nice thing about the World of Disney is it well one it's always packed. There are so many people there. And especially when we go
Yeah.
around December, that's where you go for your holiday shopping sometimes. Buying your
Yes.
Christmas gifts for people or, Hanukkah gifts or whatever gifts you're into, winter solstice gifts. But the neat thing is there is that with the app, you can do the mobile checkout that you will, log into the app. You can scan the barcodes or, the UPC codes on all the on your items, and then it'll let you pay with, credit card, you know, gift cards, whatever, and then you can just
Mhm.
show your receipt on the way out, and you can head out, so you don't have to wait in line to actually check out at one of the registers.
That's a really convenient, neat idea, especially if you only have one or two things. But I mean, we've done it with a lot of items, but um, sometimes you look at the lines and the lines are long, but they really do keep the lines moving pretty quick. If you feel like, oh my gosh, this line's going to be forever, but they really do move pretty quick if you do go through the regular checkout.
Yeah, they always have several cast members there who are working, multiple registers, and um, they're good there. They're used to the rush, so they are very, very efficient.
Mhm. Yeah.
Plus, if you do all of the nice, well, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but if you do the mobile checkout, you don't see all the impulse items right by the register.
Yeah.
So mobile
That you
checkout
pick
can
up
save
and
you some money, but you're not getting some really cool stuff also.
right. And I take the good with the bad.
Yeah, and I just like walking through the world of Disney, even if I'm not going to buy anything, just to see all the things that they have. That it is just it's entertaining. The window shopping. I mean, that's throughout all of Disney Springs, or even in the parks, walking through the shops there of just seeing what they come up with and what's creative. Like someone like they have a
Yeah.
giant play set of Spaceship Earth. It's like I know I cannot take this home. I know I don't have the room in my luggage for this or a place to put it at home, but I just want to see it because it looks so cool. And if I was a kid, this is exactly what I would have wanted.
But you can ship it home,
Yes, that too.
and we may or may not have done that.
And it's not just Spaceship Earth. They have the giant one of the castle too, and I know in the Lego store that they've had some of the big sets there. It's like, oh, I shouldn't. No, actually, I should. Another favorite thing, if you want something that's not going to take up a whole lot of space when you're going home, well, depending on how many you buy, are the Disney pin traders. And this is not, it's, are you one of the pin traders, Karen, down in Disney?
We don't tend to trade them, but we definitely do buy them.
I'm exactly the same way that once I buy the pins, like, oh, this is so awesome. Oh, trade it? No, just buy a new one.
Mm. Yeah, we will buy them because they have them for the different resorts. So sometimes we'll buy them for, the resort that we're staying at on that particular trip, or our favorite ride, or our favorite characters. So there's different ones that we tend to look for, and each year the ones for the rides. Sometimes they keep them the same or similar for a period of time, but sometimes every year they seem to come up with new ones for the different areas or something in particular that you like.
Yeah, and actually, that's a really neat thing that if you're getting the pin that is geared towards the resort you're staying at, that I know that whenever we travel, we collect refrigerator magnets for either the states or the countries that we visit. And so we're my wife and I that we tradition we started, but having the pin collection of the resort you're staying at, I think that'd be a really neat thing.
Yeah.
And of course, your favorite characters or favorite attractions, yeah, that's a must too. I
Yes.
know I've got several of Donald. And Carlos, whenever he was on, whenever we talked about the Disney College program, he was talking about being at the Pin Traders and how he had a magic touch that whenever the people would come by and get like just the mystery package of a pin, it's like, well, it's like, which one are you looking for? It's like, I really wanted this one, but I'll take whatever. And he would actually pick that exact one that the person wanted. So he was definitely sprinkling some magic pixie dust there.
Yeah.
The art of Disney, that's really neat to see if you are a collector of, want some decorations at home and getting some, like cells or some really amazing Disney artwork. If you're going to Disneyfy your house a bit more, it's always a debate with my wife. It's like, well, where are you going to put that picture? We'll find a place. It's like, no, no, where are you going to put the picture? Like, don't worry, don't worry.
There's
We have more
always a
wall
place.
space. We have plenty of white space on the wall. It'll fit.
That's right.
Now we're typically down there around the holiday season in December, January, but you can get your Christmas fix all year round at the Disney Days of Christmas,
Mhm.
kind of like the ye old Christmas shop in Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square.
Only bigger.
Yeah.
It's everything you can imagine. And they have um, the chimney, the fireplace that has the 101 Dalmatian dogs on it in the one area of the Christmas store. And we have Dalmatians at my house. And so we always have to go and look, and I don't think they were there last year, come to think of it. I think they changed it. We were disappointed because we didn't see our puppies on the mantle of the fireplace there.
We have to check again this year when you go down. It's like,
Yeah,
come on,
maybe
Disney.
they'll bring them back or put them somewhere else.
Yeah, they could have moved. Although the nice thing about here is that they often will have the previous year's ornaments at a discount. So now, depending on when you go
Um,
and how many they have left and stuff like that, but it's a nice way to get some awesome Disney uh, Christmas decorations without having to spend too much. Now, there's also a Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique in Disney Springs, but I don't think it's currently open right now.
mm-mm.
So, but whenever it opens, you can get your makeovers there. And that's a nice thing that everyone wants to do it in the castle, but then you're giving up part of your day in the parks. So, but if you do it at Disney Springs, you can. It's more of a relaxed atmosphere, I would say. You're not, I wouldn't feel so rushed.
Yeah.
There's the Advent Health Waterside stage where you can get live music at night. And I know times we've been there in the evening or even during the day, just walking by, having that entertainment. It's a nice little sitting area. Take a load off, hear some good music because they have some amazing, amazing musical talents there. And they do have rides, not just attractions, but they have rides. There's the Marketplace Train Express and the Marketplace Carousel. Now you do have to pay a little bit extra for this, but it's something that the kids can ride and um, get that little, Disney amusement park feeling, even when you're taking your rest day from the parks.
Yep.
So I know we kind of went through that fairly quickly, just highlighting some of our favorites. So if you'd like to comment on the post here and put in your favorites, we'd love to take suggestions and hear what you like down there. Karen, anything else you want to add before we go to travel tips?
I don't think so.
All right. What is your travel tip for the day then?
Well, I don't know. I guess the one thing, a travel tip would be is if you have a extra time that you're down there and you need, or just looking for something different to do, see some different sights and or to go find someplace different, someplace unique to eat. Um, Disney Springs is a close by place that you can get to using Disney transportation, and you can get desserts, you can get ice cream, you can get, really nice sit down meals, or you can get just some quick service small meals that just for something different. But Disney Springs is definitely someplace that is fun to go to.
And that's a great point that, well, don't forget donuts too. There's donuts there.
Oh yeah,
That,
breakfast.
yeah, I mean, no matter what time of day you're going, no matter what meal you want, they have something there. And that's even a fun thing of even if you are undecided about what you want to do for dinner. Hey, let's go to Disney Springs. Let's walk around. Okay, that place looks good. Let's try it. Oh, that place looks good. Let's try it. Just be careful that, you'll be, if you're going like earlier in the day, like the Hobbit, so you have breakfast and second breakfast and then 11 Z's and lunch and then dinner and supper and get all your meals in. But, they talk about eating your way around the world in Epcot. You can do
Mhm.
the same thing at Disney Springs. There are so many great places to try. Well, maybe you shouldn't go there undecided. It's like, oh, I want to go this one. Nope, that one. And you might still just be in the same boat.
You never leave there hungry. If you do, it's your own fault.
Very true. For my tip, so if you aren't staying on Disney property at one of the Walt Disney World Resort, easy for me to say, and you don't want to pay the parking fees at the parks, drive to Disney Springs, park there, take a bus to a hotel, then transfer to other transportation to get to the park you want to go to work around the system. No, no. Okay, that's very inefficient, so you don't want to do that. You're just better off going to the parks and paying for your parking. But no, real tip is do not underestimate the size of Disney Springs and the amount of walking that you will likely do there. Wear comfortable shoes. Downtown Disney District in Disneyland is much smaller, but you can still get your steps in there too. Both are great places to spend some time, whether it's your arrival day, a rest day, an evening after you've been in the parks, or your departure day if you have a later flight, just going there in the morning. That it's something that's not going to cost you any money to get in. Warning, it might cost you money in food or souvenirs that you're buying, but at least to get in, you can do this fairly inexpensively if you just want to go and window shop. If you just want to grab, quick bites to eat somewhere or, graze through a few things of, oh, let's get a pretzel here, let's go get this here, let's get a little ice cream here, that you can really, really spend a lot of time, be entertained, and not necessarily spend a whole lot of money. Plus, if you're there on a hot day, in and out of those shops, all those stores are air conditioned. So out in your little bit of heat, back into air conditioning. So you can really kind of stay refreshed. Or if you're there and when it's cold, they have heat inside, which is what we used the last time in January when it was cold out. Now, if you have a destination or experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you would like to share a favorite destination or a travel tip, feel free to contact us. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Karen, how can people get a hold of you?
One thing I just thought of that maybe is another good travel tip is that when you said wear comfortable shoes, the one thing is if something would happen that you would run into some issues with your shoes, or you brought the wrong shoes, or your kid lost one of their shoes, they've got a couple of stores at Disney Springs that have some good quality shoes that if you needed to buy a shoe, then you could, that if you needed to buy shoes, there is a place you could buy.
Yeah, and we've actually
Okay.
done that too, of buying like a pair of Crocs or sandals.
You can get a hold of me, Dreams by Design Travel with Karen, and Karen at dreamsbydesigntravel.com.
So for us here at the podcast, we're on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin. Yinz, Yinz, Goin, Goin apostrophe. You can find us wherever you find podcasts. So you found us obviously because you're listening to us. We're also on YouTube, if you want to see what we look like. We're awesome looking. Just think of the most amazing people we've ever seen times 10. That's us. At least that's what I see in the mirror, right? All this information will be in the episode description. So if you want to contact us to book a trip or have any questions, you know how to reach us. You don't have to worry about writing it down now or having photographic memory or battling any echoes. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. Karen, it's wonderful to have you with us. We're going to have you back later on to, I believe, talk about the dessert parties in a couple months. So,
Yummy.
join us next time. We're Hanat Nat. We'll see you later.